I am Marcus, a slave in ancient Rome, in 100 CE. Though my home country Gaul was under Roman control, they came into my village, and that's where I was taken. This video will portray what a day in my life looked like in Rome, an empire that was known as the greatest in the world, an empire praised for its strength and power. However, to me, it was the complete opposite. It was like living in a completely different world where I wasn't heard nor seen. It was like living in a nightmare every single day. We all stayed in the Ergastulum on Latifundia estates, which were large plantations owned by wealthy landowners in rural Italy. These were our homes. A home no one should have to call a home. No privacy was given. We had to sleep on straw pallets, often side by side. We were woken up before dawn by the Villicus, our overseer. He was our alarm. I then had breakfast, which was very minimal, maybe only a piece of bread. After this was where the nightmare would start. I harvested, planted, had to build walls, and maintained irrigation. The day was filled with endless labor. We couldn't speak to one another, so I would just talk to myself in silence and just wonder what my life would have looked like if I wasn't a slave. Not only that, but if I was at least an urban slave, I would have somewhat more freedom and dignity. We didn't know anything going politically, but when demand for goods increased, we knew something was going on. We would often overhear our masters and overseers discussing taxes and talking about emperors, especially Trajan. I would often compare myself to Tiro, Cicero's slave who became a freed slave and Cicero's good friend. Thinking of him helped me survive. It helped me imagine that maybe I could end up like him. Midday would come by and we were still on the fields under the strong sunshine and the endless labor. We were given a meal here, a basic one, usually bread, porridge, or beans. We often ate them at the fields, not in comfort like a normal human deserves. By the evening, we returned to the Ergastulum, tired, exhausted, and overworked. But even then, we weren't allowed to rest. We had to clean tools or do additional tasks. We then gave our last meal, again a basic one, either bread or vegetables. After that, we go to bed, not to sleep, but just enough to recover. Many were locked up and chained while sleeping, just because they might have talked or appeared to be less productive while working on the fields. For many years, that is how life was like, even though I wouldn't even call it one. These were them, the laws that controlled and ruled me. According to them, I am not a man. I am property. I cannot own. I cannot marry. If I speak, it must result in pain. These laws call me property, but I call myself Marcus. Although my life wasn't mine, one thing they couldn't take away from me were my dreams. Dreams of being once freed. Dream of being seen and heard. A dream where I'll be referred to as a man with a name. I also sometimes dreamt of going back to Gaul. Not to change things, but just to feel things again.